What's up, people? This is Wilfred Lee, and welcome to the Artist Journey. I'm with my buddy and very funny guy. Is that okay to say?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's Albert. Albert Escobedo, eating some ramen noodles.
How's it going, everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
What's up?
What's up, world?
What's up, world? We gotta turn off this Facebook business.
Too many beeps and bloops.
Too many beeps getting in the way of things.
Trying to be professional here.
Yeah. We should have recorded all that stuff before, though. You missed a whole bunch of things.
The fun has started before the podcast or broadcast.
Yeah, I think that's one of the first times I actually heard you laugh pretty hard.
Like a boisterous,
Yeah.
full-on, what do you call it? Genuine laugh.
What is that thing? Happiness?
What do you call it? There's a word for it. It's called happiness.
Happiness. What is this feeling? Care Bears Countdown.
It's strange to me.
Yeah. So,
You know,
recently we just had the Stand Up Soul.
Stand Up Soul Thursday.
Yeah, what did you think of it this month?
It was not our strongest night.
I think the month before was pretty good.
It was the best. It's
Wasn't
the best in a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the difference is. I'd say the host had a lot to do with it because a lot of people came out to see Janet, and then halfway through they all left.
Yeah, that's true.
So that means there was a lot of people there who didn't come to see the show. They just came to see Janet, and they took up a lot of the good seating, like in the front, and so that makes a big difference.
Nice.
Oh, no unhealthy ramen for you guys. Just kale shakes. Albertina? This is yours though. This for you?
No.
There's more. There's enough for everybody.
She only has 2 hands.
We just have some special kale shakes. I don't even know why we're calling it kale shakes because there's no kale in it.
There's not one piece of kale in there.
But what did you put in here? We got some 2 bananas, 5 balls of ice.
5 ice balls.
5 ice balls, opposed to fireballs.
Kiwi balls.
Kiwi balls. Kiwi hexagram.
Everything was testicles, I think. If fruit had testicles.
We didn't even try. Did you try it?
No, not yet. Damn good.
It's good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good job. Chara soil.
Chara soil. Felicitación.
Felicidades.
Guantanamea. Did your parents ever teach you how to do like merengue or salsa when you were young?
Yeah, I had a lot of aunts. I had 3 aunts that were young, a lot younger than my mom, so they would teach me how to dance. But at that time, it was like 1980s house music too, so they were teaching me those kind of like...
They do like merengue to Two Unlimited or something?
Yeah, right, exactly. I was dancing salsa to what's her name, Madonna and Belle Biv DeVoe, whatever the hell. I don't know.
Triplets of Belleville?
Yeah, well, mix it up. It was right after the disco era.
Fucking A, yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't a part of that era.
So weird. Like I kind of noticed these days that younger generations are kind of into the 80s, but the 90s people are still going, what the fuck was that about?
I don't know.
The 90s was like a lot. Even year 2000, like.
I think 90s hip hop was good, but I don't know. 90s music in general was crap.
Well, 80s would have been like the age of boy bands, or was it usually 90s where they actually
90s was boy bands. I don't know, when it was like Backstreet Boys. No, not Backstreet Boys, we call it
New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block.
They were 80s.
That was 80s music.
But there wasn't a lot of them at that time.
But is there a big difference between like New Kids on the Block and Backstreet Boys? I don't think there was that. If you listen to both the music, if you just listen to them, would you be able to tell the era that they were from?
I think so.
I don't know, man. They both
all
are.
the synths and
Yeah, I guess the music itself.
Girl is poison. That's not them though, but
No,
that's a good song.
That's a great song. See,
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm sweating. Spicy noodles.
Spicy noodles.
Don't look at my sweat.
You can't. We're shining right now.
Can you see how shiny I am? Come on, my bald spot. Is it shining yet? It will be.
Oh, it will be.
Progression.
I have a semi-half boner right now.
Just semi?
Semi-half.
Can
So
I-
it's half of them.
Can I touch
It's a
it?
half and half. It's a quarter.
It's a
of half.
quarter boner?
Yeah.
It's a corbo?
It's where the balls are out, but the pee-pee's a little
It's
bit
a corbo.
having some issues.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, we were talking about stand-up soul.
So Stand Up Soul, I think, like, Rocky Mountain Tavern is the venue is set up in a way that if all the people that didn't come to see the show are not sitting close to the stage, the show doesn't go well. So, like I said, a lot of those front tables were taken up by Janet's friends who aren't comedy fans, you know? So, like, halfway through the show, they were sending me messages, because Janet and I have a lot of the same friends, saying, when are you going up so we can leave?
Really?
So, yeah, and I was like, I'm never going. I'm just going last. But then I went, like, 5th, and then a bunch of people left. And that's rude. You listeners out there, don't do that. Don't come to a show and leave halfway through after your friend goes up. That is extremely rude, and comedians, I don't like that. Even though they were my friends, I still told them not to. And they left anyway.
But on the plus side, whenever you're going on to a show, always bring your friends out.
Oh, yeah. Your friends that like
that's
comedy.
That's a catch-22.
Yeah. I mean, I'll bring my friends who like comedy, but I'm not going to bring friends who just like me, because I can see them anytime. We can hang out anytime.
Sometimes I bring people which I question our friendship. They just invite them anyways.
Well, we did a show yesterday.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
It was like 16 people came, so not so good. In a room where the last time we did it, there was like 40 people. And we did well. We did well there last time, so we assumed this time there'd be more people. But it was 15, 16 people, and most of those people came in randomly, not knowing there was a comedy show. So it's the same type of scenario. You have a lot of people in the room who didn't come to see comedy, and then the show doesn't go so well because they don't know what to expect. And they expect something that we're not delivering. You know, they're expecting, you know, like what you see on HBO comedy specials. You know, just a guy that's with 15, 20 years experience just delivering A lines all day, just A jokes, A. And we don't have that. You know, we're all aware of our mediocrity, you know.
You know what's funny is, like, sometimes when people are in the front and it's usually that one guy, he's like drinking his beer and he's not laughing, but he's like looking at you.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can so fucking do better than
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that, though.
I don't mind that. I don't mind anybody who comes and sits in the front.
Yeah.
I don't like the guy who sits in the back and talks to his friend. That's the guy I hate more. The guy that comes, sits in the back, and talks to his buddy the whole night, probably saying that, these guys aren't funny, I can do this better than them, I'm funnier than that guy.
Yeah, every group has their own funny guy, but that's not as funny as it gets. It's just...
No.
I remember, like, there were people that were friends of mine that I thought they were, like, the funniest people I ever met in my life. And then now they're doing other jobs. I'm just like, man, it's kind of a weird thing to even just get into comedy. You know, it's like everyone has like their kind of interesting way how they got into it and stuff. But unless there was like a direct way to be like, hey, you want to get into this, you know, I think you'd be, I don't know. In a way, I guess it is kind of open to anyone, anyways.
But I think it's more...
It's like how people think about it, you know, like, oh, I don't know if I can actually do that.
I think a lot of people can get into it, but people who stay with it, I think, are originally creative people. Yeah. Like, you already had a creative side of you. You just didn't really know what avenue to go down to take your creativity and make something that people liked. Like, you were an artist beforehand, and before I liked to write. But I was just writing, like, short stories, and pretty much just for my own enjoyment, just because I wanted to.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, but I just kept them in my own little notebooks. And then started watching stand-up comedy, and then just was, like, infatuated with it. Just, like, the ability to tell a story that you wrote. And, like, storytelling. Like, the comedians that do storytelling, not the comedians that you see that are, like, just do punchline comedy, you know?
So I didn't know that you used to do a lot of the short stories before. Like, what kind of short stories were you into?
Child
pornography.
Child pornography.
You said child 3 times. I was like, triple X, right?
What I meant to say was like childish things. Like I would write stories about like Mickey Mouse and Elf having a conversation, or Mickey Mouse and Elf like smoking weed together. You know, just like.
So you already had like a humor, like.
Yeah, it was already funny. It was in my head. It was like Snoop Doggy Dogg and some Chinese woman having babies. You know what I mean? It would be like something ridiculous like that in my head would just be funny. And then I would write out a scenario of how that went down. Like he had a concert and she was delivering flowers, and then they got high together, and then they started making babies. And when I was writing the story, I would try to describe the room that they were having sex in more than the story itself. I was trying to focus on these little details because I thought that's what made stories more interesting. Like where it was going on and what was going on around them as opposed to what they were saying. But then when I was watching stand-up comedy, it was like they were focusing on the dialogue a lot more, and the dialogue was so colorful that the rest of the things didn't matter. And I was like, well, that's a whole different avenue that I would like to try to go down. But I'm not very good at storytelling. That's why my jokes are mostly like set up punchline structure, very simple. And I'm trying to make them more stories, but I'm not good at it. It's hard.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. What are you girls giggling about? What's so funny? We have some guests in the back. Groupies? Who knows?
Groupies.
Grupes.
Grupes. Herpes.
Herpes.
That's how you tell people you have herpes in a classy way.
You want some herpes? You ordered me on the 99%, my friend.
Some herpes.
Some herpes.
Where are you from? Herpes.
Herpes. It's all the way down. It's kind of bumpy. A lot of mountains.
South. It's rugged,
Did you just
rugged
drop
terrain.
a shitload of change in the floor?
Well, on my own jacket. It was. I don't like things in my pocket. I got like an OCD.
How much change I got? Yeah, I got about $6.75. Well, I'm just gonna throw this shit on the ground.
I don't like it. I don't like things in my pocket. I got like a phobia of things being bigger in my pocket than my own penis. It just doesn't sit well with me.
You got 2 bulges.
2 bulges.
I had one friend in high school. He Matt Bowden. He literally used to go out around with the Polish sausage kielbasa. He'd stick it in his pants, and he like sit beside girls that like biology, like hey, and it's like this huge imprint, and then they're like, and then he just like, put his hand in his pants and just take it out, just like take a bite out of it.
That's weird.
Yeah, the thing was
a weird friend you have there.
Yeah, I had a lot of weird friends because they were all white and they were all in the boonies and they had like nothing else to do. When it's really boring, 2 things happen. Either a lot of things happen, but the most things that happen is everyone gets pregnant. That little town that we had, population of 30,000, that had the highest rate of pregnancy than anywhere in Canada.
So there's nothing going on but...
And of all places, I went there. And then in the beginning of Facebook, they used to make group pages. It's like, I made that percentage that didn't get pregnant or didn't get someone pregnant. And then there was only like 5 people that made it there.
Wow, that's incredible. That's like a sad story.
Yeah, so like a lot of girls at that time, they got pregnant. It was kind of scary. And the thing is, like, we came from like a Catholic high school. So it's kind of like... safe sex. Conservative, very much. So, like, there's no way you're going to go to an abortion clinic in that area because there's no abortion clinics at all. And everybody knows your name in a small city. So it's really hard. It's like, now that I think about it, that's a kind of a fucked up dynamic.
Everybody knows, but everybody's doing bad things.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, Jessica just went to the abortion clinic. Oh my God, I know I was working there.
I know, I was in line in front of her.
Yeah.
My sister goes there every other month. What would you do? I would think you just kind of embrace it and you just accept that's the kind of neighborhood you live in or the kind of town you live in. Like, it shouldn't be shunned upon. If it's the majority of people, it shouldn't be shunned. I'm sure that's where most of the families came from. It was the kind of place where people like grew up there and stayed there.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like when you grow up there, the worst fear you can have is it's kind of like a black hole. Like you'll never. It's like Lost.
Right.
You'll never get out of that place and stuff. So when you get out, it's just like fuck, that guy got out.
Yeah, man.
You're like clean free. And people got into drugs and stuff and just getting babies and.
See, where I grew up too, it was like
it's crazy.
When I moved out of East Chicago, which was the Mexican like ghetto, and moved to a place called Maryville. It was like all white suburb, and call that the black hole. They would call it the black hole because you get into that neighborhoods, these like white neighborhoods in near Chicago, and it's like it's so close to Chicago that you don't really ever have to leave. You know, everything you need is close enough. And so in those neighborhoods where it's safer than the ghetto, you know, so it's like you live there and you grow up there, you go to school there, you raise your family there, and people just stay there forever. It's like generational families that all stay in the same area. And then people start to have these like delusions of grandeur, like they were high school state wrestling champs. So then they're just the coolest kid ever for the rest of their lives, as long as they stay in that area. And everybody knows who they are, and everybody knows, oh, that one time that guy was great. So we're just gonna, it's like keep worshiping him. And I hated that. I hated that mentality where it was like, you didn't earn any reason for people to respect you at this point. Like you did something before, but you haven't done anything recently, and people still respect you, and you're a fucking idiot. And I know that you're an idiot, and I can see, and it's been proven over and over again that you're a giant idiot. And nobody seemed to hold on to that truth as much as I did. I had to get out.
I like how it sounds like you're specifically telling one person in your mind, and then out of all those people, they're probably gonna listen one day and like
he's talking about me,
that fucking asshole. It's like that's so funny. It's like when you're talking in a third person, just like completely out of the blue. Not everyone's gonna know, but that one person's like, "Fuck You bastard. That asshole.
I think a lot of people, if anybody listens to this, there's going to be a lot of my friends at home that are going to be like, he's probably talking about me, because there's just a lot of people like that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of angry people.
It's not just me. It just happens that I use the sport of wrestling because that's what I grew up with, and a lot of my friends are wrestlers, so it's not you. If you think I'm talking about you, it's not you. It's not you or you.
It's not me. That's all I know. I'm okay.
It's definitely you back there.
It's not one of us in the room.
Definitely somebody that you don't know. Somebody whose name I forgot, but no. It's true, and there was like a great wrestling coach that I had at one time told me trophies, because he was talking about people winning things. Like they shouldn't give people trophies because trophies last forever. They should give you a banana, because a banana gets rotten and goes bad. You got to go out there and get yourself a new banana.
That's pretty funny.
All right, it's profound. Dan Gable said that.
That was your coach name?
Yeah, he was not my coach. He was just a famous wrestling coach. Like he was the most famous wrestling coach to the day, I would have to say. Maybe Cale Sanderson. But anyway.
I would love to hear that speech in person. The first time he said that.
Great speeches, man. I mean, I totally agree with that. Like,
you want? Give you a fucking banana.
Here's your fucking banana.
What if you saw like an MMA fight and the world champion gets like
here's a banana.
Like a whole bunch of bananas.
I don't know.
Some yogurt, this is due like in 4 days.
Eat it now.
It's really sensitive.
Yeah. It's already going bad. It expired today.
You get a free kilo of
yeah, well, they should.
Protein powder, gluten-free.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe at a different level, like a world champion of some sort. Like an Olympic champion. You win one Olympic gold medal. Do you think should that be your highest expectation of your life?
Yeah. But that's an interesting point that you bring up, because it's like you said before, people who usually stay there, they just kind of use that one success. But the hardest thing, the more challenging thing, the more respectable thing is to be a person of like a succession of successes. Right. Like to constantly build one after another, because that one thing could be completely just by chance, or that was your highest moment at that time with the influence of a group of people. But if you can constantly make a career out of that, like a serious career, or doing something else beyond that, I think that's something you don't really see all the time.
No, rarely.
But when you do it, you're like, hey, you can totally see that person's full of like genuine character.
Well, I think I like that environment kind of here in Korea. If you can come to Korea and pursue your goals and your dreams and be even borderline successful with it, then that's a feat all its own, because you don't have any support group here, really. You just have yourself.
That's true, yeah.
You're motivating yourself. You're your own promoter, your own advertiser. And if you really want to do something here, you have to do it all on your own. And I like that aspect of it, because before, when I was at home, I had a big family and I had a lot of friends. So it was always in the back of my mind, always wondering, do people like me for me, or do people like me because of my family or my brother, or who my family is, or what I'm a part of, as opposed to me individually. And I never really knew. I always felt like I had this safety net. I mean, I came here and everything seems to be going well for me, so I know that it had a lot to do with my own person. But at the same time, here in Korea, on the flip side of that, if you make a lot of mistakes, there's nobody there to help you.
That's true. That's when you get deported back.
That's when you get deported. That's when you end up being...
from immigration problems.
That's when you end up online
Not saying any names, but some people had a lot of immigration problems.
I know people with immigration problems.
Yes. And here they are.
Hey, I've been in some trouble here. The reason why I get into trouble here is because I take risks that are unnecessary, and alcohol has a lot to do with it. Yeah, but Koreans take risks all the time, then. But that's an everyday risk. Yeah, drinking. Yeah. Being in public.
I've never seen so much public puking than anywhere before. Like, I've never seen that much, only in a frat party. Or at like a graduation prom after party thing.
In a drinking event.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's such a regular occurrence here. It's a little bit kind of disturbing.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And I hate that I'm kind of getting used to that.
Well, it becomes...
I'm just like, and I'm kind of interested. Oh, that guy kind of puked a lot. I want to see. I'm just like checking that guy out.
That happens. You hear somebody puking, you're like, I want to see this shit.
Yeah.
What did we see yesterday? We just got back from the gig, and we were in Itaewon getting out of the taxi. Me, Adam, Jeff, and Rudy. Yeah. And I see a guy wasted try to get on his motorcycle. Oh. Getting on the motorcycle, and the motorcycle just falls over on top of him. And he just laid there and went to sleep. With the one leg under the motorcycle, the other leg on top of the motorcycle, and he just laid there, and then he balled up his jacket and put it under his head like a pillow, and went to sleep. And like at first I thought that he was hurt because the bike fell on him and he didn't get up, so I ran over there to check on him, and I saw him put the pillow jacket, and I was like, oh, he's fine.
That's
And
hilarious.
then Adam went over there, like, and with the quickness. I thought Adam was concerned, but Adam went over there and started taking pictures.
Post
Post them online.
Oh, that's hilarious. He's like
But-
Blackout Korea.
Oh, yeah, Blackout Korea. And as soon as he did it, like, 3 other white guys went over there and started taking pictures. It was pretty fucking funny. It's pretty hilarious.
Oh my god.
Everybody was concerned until they saw that, but originally what bothered me was when he fell over, like 5 Korean guys just walked right by him with not even to look down to make sure he was okay. And that bothers me a little bit, that the Korean mentality of it's not your problem, don't worry about it.
But you know what? I think that's just a lot of the human condition on like a first world country too.
Yeah.
Like everyone has I forget what the name is specifically, but it's like the something pedestrian syndrome where you remember in the movie Kick-Ass? Like they show that specific example where he's like looking at those people getting mugged in this in the parking garage or something, and then
Right.
you see this one guy looking out the window, and he just sees it, but he just closes the window and doesn't say anything.
Right.
A lot of people have that kind of situation. They don't really want to get into anything at all.
Yeah, I don't like that though. Yeah, you're right. It
I
happens
mean,
everywhere.
I think the same way too, but in some respects, I usually most of the time I'll probably just kind of walk away, or I'll just look at it. I'll be like, I wouldn't take a picture like Adam, but if I was there with Adam, I'd be like, hey, can I see that picture?
Can I see that picture?
Yeah, send me to it. Not in Cacao.
I guess it depends on the scenario. I think like
Yeah.
if I saw somebody breaking into a car, I wouldn't want nobody's getting hurt. But if I see like somebody falling down and busting their head open on the street, I'm gonna try to help them out. I don't want what I don't want to happen is me walk away and then later something bad happened that I could have prevented. Then I would feel guilty. Like, wouldn't you rather be a hero than a non-participant?
But if that one kid that you didn't save after his parents both got killed, you could have just made a Batman. By not helping you. That's usually what happens.
I guess.
Sometimes it does. You got to think that way.
I guess.
That's the point of thinking that you're willing to convince yourself not to help someone. That guy's gonna be a hero one day. He's
One
gonna
day.
avenge his parents.
I hope there's Alfred around.
Yeah.
Well, on the other token, we should just be killing all the kids that might be Hitler one day.
There's a lot of Batman in Brazil right now, and in China, a lot of Batgirls,
Fatherless children,
fatherless children,
parentless children.
orphans.
What were we talking about?
What do they call parents that have no children? Because they have
Happy,
Oh, sad,
free.
a little bit happy. No, but they died.
Oh, like parents. who
If
are
you don't
all
have an
kids?
answer for that, you're just a bad guy now.
What do they call it? Is there a word for that?
No, there isn't, right?
There should be.
Right? Like if you lost your parents, you're an orphan.
Right.
The opposite. If you lost your kid, you're
Bad parent? Well, it depends. How did your kids die? Anyway, what would that be?
you lock the baby in the car,
Okay, so
and you locked your keys in there. And luckily, there was one abortion doctor that had came out from the dry cleaners, and he's like, "Oh, let me help you," and he just used a coat hanger, and just open that shit out. And you're like,
That's
this
hilarious.
is really awkward right now.
It's really awkward. You're saving a baby with that coke hanger now?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I'm a
That should be
doctor.
joke.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, I'm an abortion doctor. Here's my card. Do what you gotta do.
Here's my card.
Yeah.
You guys don't need any more children. That's a pretty good joke. I like that.
Yeah. Like I had the opposite of that. It was like, abortion is like locking your keys in the car because the only way to get it out is using a coat hanger. But I was like, more awkward is to have like your baby in the car and the fucking, abortion doctor.
So this is a joke you had before.
Yeah, but
That's a good one.
I talked to the with Adam and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's
You should put that one.
I want to make that into a comic. I just want to think.
Hold that one for yourself.
Yeah.
No, I like that idea.
In the comic, like, how can you make an abortion comic strip that funny?
So I say that a lot. It's hard to write a good abortion joke. 9 times out of 10, someone's gonna shoot you.
Yeah, actually, that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about was it was like a while back. It's already old news now, but remember Taj had that huge issue with the rape thing.
The
and
rape
stuff.
jokes.
And the last Thursday, Stand Up Soul, a couple of people told me, it's like, yeah, everyone was saying a lot of rape jokes. It's like it was really dark material.
Yeah. The last month.
And this
October?
Thursday too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like you said some stuff. Like for us, it's like, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
But
Well, no. I had a joke that bombed. The joke about shoving a 7-year-old kid into your penis. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if that's rape, but that's kind of
It's racy.
That's big. Yeah.
It's racy.
I don't know if it's like the standard of Sean Calhoun's racy. Like you
No.
might be over that or something.
Well, yeah, because I mean, before I did the rape jokes, and sometimes they do well, sometimes they don't. It depends on the room. But I think if there's something like that in the news or like on the tip of people's tongues or in their mind, then it is stand-up comedy's job to like bring it out there to the public, to circulate, to stimulate conversation. Like I like that. I like that aspect of it. I really feel like things we say, whether people like it or not, they talk about it later, and it opens up doors for discussion. And I mean, isn't that the point of art?
Yeah, I really do wonder how much of the stuff we talk about, people talk about later.
Dude, a lot. I mean, I don't know about a lot, but often enough that people will like text me or message me like, "Hey, we were talking about your joke last night, or we were talking about Rudy's joke last night, or we were calling each other chingus." You know what I mean? Like, even if it's something small, it influences people because they don't always take the time to sit down and take their own ideas and match them up with other people's ideas and try to find that common ground that requires something to be funny to everybody.
Yeah, I really hope that people start thinking about me every time they pee in the shower now.
I do.
That's my goal. Yeah.
Every time I'm taking a shit before I shower, I'm like, I don't even need to wipe. I'm just going to take a shower.
Thanks. You like, look into the mirror like it's a camera.
Thanks, Wilfred. I think about it. What else? I think
Clever
I
shot.
think about a lot of people's jokes but maybe that's just me. But I think about a lot of people's jokes when I'm just going about my daily business because people are talking about things that are directly relative to me and us and Korea and having a Korean girlfriend, all these cliche things that we all do, teaching English and.
It's so funny how it's all cliche now.
Yeah, it is.
We've been here for that long enough that it's kind of more cliche.
It's all been talked about, but that's what people like. People like to hear about the mundane. Could you do a show like this weekend where I tried to talk about me specifically in turning 29 and the hurt my arm doing jiu-jitsu with my friend, and people weren't into that as much as the Korean girl jokes and the Hagwon teaching jokes and that shit. People were way more into those jokes than they were into the things that were directly not only at me, but I felt like they were relatable. Those kind of jokes work at Tony's where people already know me, you know?
Hey, but I know there's not like a lot of different locations and venues that we usually go to, but if you go to a special one, do you try to cater your jokes to the people you assume are going to be there? Like, remember Camarita?
Camarada?
Is that what it is?
Hmm.
Yeah, Carmen's Bar? No, Carmen's.
Oh, Carmen.
Carmen's. And I remember there was going to be like some performances, but before it was like you, Adam, and Rudy or something like that. They were there. And it was all Koreans. Most of them were Korean females.
Right.
And I went there like near the end and I just saw like Adam talking about his joke about fingering a girl and
two hands.
Two hands, like what's the
proper
and then
way?
I just look at all the faces like, oh my god, like I kind of think sometimes it's like we have all these really bad, dirty Korean jokes. We're like, oh, there's Korean people. This is probably the perfect joke,
is the one
right?
for them.
Because it's Korean, right? So
I don't know.
It's just like, maybe that wasn't a good idea.
It depends on your own personality too. Like I think that day we talked about it. Like Rudy was not about to say anything even borderline offensive to Korean people, but I am, and so is Adam. But like my jokes were about Korean kids and teaching English because I felt like that was light enough. But Adam held nothing back. Adam was talking about fingering Korean girls with two hands. Like that's a whole different level. Like he just went out there, and I think that honestly, I think he shouldn't have. I think that to offend a crowd purposefully is not a good idea.
Yeah, because if one Korean guy laughs in there, he's gonna get in so much shit.
Oh yeah, you're gonna make enemies,
Yeah.
But that's something that you learn. I mean, I learned. Somebody told me like, Albert, you're making enemies on stage. Is that what you want? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what they think. But it does matter because you want those people to come back. You want those people to come back because at the end of the day, you want to be successful. And if you have something that works for you, but you like it, but other people don't like it, then who are you performing for? Yourself? And not always. You gotta please the crowd at some level. I don't know. I guess that's like a subject of debate for any comedian. Because that's something like I hear Joe Rogan talking about a lot. How comedians start out that he knows that he likes that are aggressive and honest and saying dirty things, and then they want their Letterman special, so they start cleaning up their act and telling jokes about cereal and and shoes. And it's like, well, he kind of sold out there. But do you want to be successful or do you want to be funny? What do you want? Do you want to please your friends or do you want to please the executive at NBC?
Yeah, and it's just about being true to your voice. That how far can you go towards like a future goal or successful, by using, your own voice and being as honest as you can, without having trying to like go in an opposite direction just to, satisfy other people. And I think I was talking with Sean the other time before, and it was a really interesting point that we brought up was the, comedy is like writing with yourself, but then the dialogue part with the audience. Like sometimes for myself, I get caught up in just thinking about the joke and just kind of saying it, and then I kind of lose that kind of energy with the crowd.
The connection with the crowd.
And like I have to kind of listen back to their silence sometimes, or just about those beats between myself and them, compared to the beats in my own head with how I think it should go, because it's just slightly evolved sometimes whenever you're going up there.
I think the more you do it, the more you're able to do the two things at once. Like the more, especially if you're telling the same jokes a lot, and just more stage time will make you more comfortable with that anyway. That you're able to start a joke, and in the beginning of the joke, I can see the audience's reaction if they're into it or not, and if I need to change my intonation, if I need to change my attitude, if I need to address them one more time before I give them the punchline. And it works out for me a lot of times, but not every time. Some jokes just aren't funny, or you just aren't delivering it well, or you didn't write it well. But there's a lot of times where I'm going in a direction, and I can just see the crowd's reaction based on how I set it up, and I'm thinking I can finish this joke, but I can't continue on to the next joke that's about the same line of thinking, because they're already not into it. So for me to continue on the same line means I don't care about them. But you got to care about them a little. So I do crowd work, maybe too much, but it works for me. But at the same time, like a comedian would say, that's not real stand-up comedy. When you're not. Why
not though?
Because real stand-up comedy, like the book says, stand-up comedy is you wrote a structured set, like a structured set that has punchlines, setups and punchlines and chunks and bits and things that transition well together. And if you're just an insult comedian where you're just talking to the crowd the whole time, that's a different kind of comedian. It's an insult comedian as opposed to a stand-up comedian.
So what about like Triumph, the insult comic dog? Like he has a lot of like canned or like specific type of insults that he uses towards each event. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he's an insult comic. He's the insult dog. I mean, that's exactly what he is. He's going to be booked for that gig specifically. He's never going to get another gig. I feel like a stand-up comedian could be well-rounded. They can be a host, they could be a stand-up, they could be a writer, they can do a roast, they can do a lot of different things. They could do, a clean act, and they can do a dirty act, but an insult comedian is only going to be able to do dirty things. So I think to limit yourself to a title like that, insult comic, I think that's, it takes that kind of person, but I would never want to do that. And actually, the more I do stand-up comedy, the less aggressive I want to be. But, like to go back to what you said before, I have to be honest enough to myself that it's still fun for me to do it. If it's not honest enough, if it's a lot of bullshit that I wrote just because I know they'll like it, then it's not fun for me anymore. And I get to that point a lot when I'm writing and I'm like, I can't tell another dick joke. So I have to write something else. But then I was like, man, I really wanted to tell a dick joke, and then it's not.
It's so funny how many dick jokes you come up with.
It's so easy. It's so easy. It's not, and it's not just us. It is.
You're just taking a shower, like at your balls, like
there's something there.
There's some potential going.
There's something there right there. There's something there.
You know what's really funny though is I kind of felt like I have less shame now because I do comedy. And I think that's kind of funny, before there was these things I kind of felt like a lot of the stuff is really beyond my character, but obviously it is now because I'm doing those things, right?
Regularly, right?
Yeah, but now I'm just kind of like, man, like, do you ever find yourself like how you were before you kind of got into comedy, that your sense of self-shame or embarrassment in order to say things as crazy as that in public? Because in your mind it's kind of like a switch, like, okay, I guess this is okay, and you feel a little bit desensitized, or I don't know, maybe a little
desensitized. I think that's the perfect word.
Distant from that and stuff.
No, I remember when it was harder for me to say something that was obviously offensive or gross, as opposed to now, because so many times I've gotten a good reaction from it. That not every time, not even most of the time, just sometimes I'll say something that's just really something I really just thought and felt, but it's really obscene. But I say it and you'll get a good reaction. It's not only is it not just me, it's most people. Most people think the same way. They're just afraid of their own thoughts. That's where I started coming up with the joke. It's like we police our own brains and we feel guilty about our own thoughts even though we didn't do anything wrong. And I feel like that's wrong. I think if people got out of that mental box where they're policing their thoughts, Like, that's ridiculous. You don't need
they're
to...
guilty of their own
Yeah,
thoughts.
you don't need to police your thoughts.
Maybe that's like a Catholic or kind of a religious mind frame, isn't
Well,
it?
I agree. That has some aspect to it, but it's just society. Society teaches you to be a certain way, and I agree that you should act a certain way, but you can think however you want. You should be able to think freely and create freely, as long as it's not hurting anybody. You know, I mean, I don't see what's the harm. What's the harm? People are telling you what kind of jokes to tell. Like, what does it matter to you? It's like telling somebody don't be gay. You know, it's like, what does it matter to you what I'm doing in my own privacy that has nothing to do with you? It's the exact same analogy to me. If you're not hurting anybody with your own personal life, then nobody should be able to tell you what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah, and it's really interesting when other people, they tell you what you should do with your bits and stuff.
Yeah, I hate it.
They feel like they kind of figured you out or something.
Yeah.
And it's really hard even if they say that, but it depends on what their background is too.
Right.
It's just like, man, I don't even respect the stuff that you do.
Right.
But it's hard to get something encouraging from what you're saying and stuff.
I get that a lot.
Suggestions are okay, but
No.
different.
There's a difference between like this is how you should do comedy as opposed to this is how you should tell your joke.
Yeah.
Because there are certain ways to tell comedy. Like I said, the setup punchline structure is you gotta have a punchline. You gotta have a joke in there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just talk about your premises without a joke, and it's not funny. Like you gotta have a joke in there, and you can't ramble, and you can't, you gotta have a transition from this to this. I guess transitions aren't necessarily it, but there is a way to make it flow, and it's like if it doesn't flow well and people lose interest immediately, then that's kind of your own timing is off. Your timing is off, and then any comedian can tell you those things, but I mean I don't know. Who's to say there's a right or wrong way to do comedy?
Yeah, but transitions are pretty interesting now these days because for myself, when I'm usually doing them, as you go on, you get more and more jokes, and then when you look at this new joke, it can kind of segue into something else completely, and then like a previous set can just change completely by that new dynamic.
Oh yeah,
and it just totally changes the tone of.
But it's good.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that way and stuff. You're always changing structure with the same thing you have.
Right.
So like before, like if like you mentioned before, if you're doing like a short story, that's what it is from beginning to end.
Right.
But with your jokes constantly, it can always be switched and go back to something else, and then when it puts together, it's like a really crazy, I don't know, like symbiosis.
Symbiosis. Yeah, I like that. I think that. I mean, like
I was thinking like Venom, like Carnage, symbiosis.
Symbiosis.
It's like the black ink.
No, I think you gotta have all those things together. But the best part of it is just the jokes, just the little jokes you have in there, and you can play with them however you want. But the jokes that's the gold nugget. You gotta have that joke, and that's the hardest part of it to fit that joke in there to get your other ideas out.
Yeah.
Because your idea is grand to you. Your idea, your premise is, fantastic in your brain. But without the joke, nobody else cares. Nobody cares.
Mm. Yeah, we're always constantly panning for gold.
Oh yeah.
Just always panning for gold, looking for the gold nugget. He just got like a lot of dirty rocks.
There will be blood.
Yeah, just like this.
My straw goes all the way to your milkshake. Anybody?
Yes.
Anybody? Nobody seen that movie? No? You never seen There Will Be Blood?
Albert Escobedo, everybody. No, I've seen it. That's a great movie.
Nah, man, I love that
Have you
fucking-
seen the trailer for him as Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah, I have.
He looks... People are like, oh my god, how did they get Abraham Lincoln to star in his own film? Like, that guy's fucking crazy.
Oh man, I remember when I was like a little kid. You have those tabloid magazines in Canada, like
The fake ones?
yeah, the National Enquirer or whatever.
Like Hitler and shaking hands with like an alien.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I fucking love those.
Yeah, those are the best. There was one that was like Abraham Lincoln was brought back to life for 5 seconds.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds a little bit true.
And all he said was, "Where am I?" And that was like a 4-page article about Abraham Lincoln being brought back from the dead, and all he said was, "Where am I?" And then he died again.
That's hilarious.
It's like, that's a horrible story. Like, you brought him back from the dead for 5 seconds. He had to die all over again. That's horrible.
Well, how crazy is that to be a guy that works there?
Like,
we need a new scoop, guys.
Like the National Enquirer.
Yeah.
Bat Boy is coming back.
Yeah, and there was like a whole story with they were like the first memes in a way. They were like memes before the internet.
Just a picture and then a random post with it.
Yeah, and like Bad Boy was such a really fucked up. Because at the time, you know, like no one knew if this stuff was true.
Yeah,
like,
people
Photoshop, like
believed it.
how shitty was that Photoshop that people started believing that stuff? You know,
Dude.
just a good handful of people in a small city. Just
Dude,
like,
I believed it because I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any better.
and it came out and it was right beside like all the newspapers. Too.
Right.
So you see that too, like, wait, this one's just talking about politics, and this one, Bad Boy.
And then here's Bat Boy.
Elvis.
I think when I stopped believing it, it was when Bat Boy started getting older. You know, I was like, they would have caught him and killed him by now. And why is he not procreating?
Like
And
Bad Boy escapes again.
Yeah, he kept escaping. Like that was another thing. He kept escaping.
I remember in one National Enquirer one, they had a cutout of Bad Boy's face, so you can put it on for Halloween. So you just put it all like that.
Bat Boy was their biggest seller. That's what's funny.
I used to collect the shit out of those. Because
What was the origins of Bat Boy? I can't remember.
I don't know. I have a feeling it's from like South America, some type
Where
of
his
like,
parents have bat too, or
like
what?
some Venezuelan cave, and then some women got raped by bats or something.
A bat flew into her vagina.
Yeah, because that's how bats have sex with people. Just letting
In
you guys
case you
know.
didn't know.
Here's some education for you.
Male bats fly into women's vaginas only in South
Their
America.
nose is a penis. It looks like a pig nose, but it's not.
It's a penis. And
And they go inside,
It's
they
not
flap their
rockets
wings
full of
out like
cum.
this, and they just start looking for the G spot like this inside the vagina.
That's not a bad way to find it. It's like a big black cock with wings.
I used to do this one thing with my friends back home. It's like when you do dance moves, like yeah, do the robot, do the things, and we try to do all these different types of sexual innuendos
While
It's
you're
like,
dancing?
Yeah, so it's like here's the vagina. You take out the vagina, you put it around like this, and you put all the way down to your ankles, and then you start going like this, and then you just like gets and you're like, what the hell is this guy doing?
What kind of dance is that?
My one buddy Jeff, he was like yeah, here's the vagina. You just stretch it out like this, like it's really tight. And then you just like push it all the way down to your feet, and then you just like give it an alternate orgasm like this. My one friend used to dance like he had like a 5-foot dick, so he.
You guys did have a lot of boredom problems.
Yeah, then we like someone just within hand's reach, a girl. Like, this guy was crazy. You just grab the back of their head and he started dancing like he's giving the longest blowjob. It's like yeah.
Jesus, I need to meet these friends.
Yeah, I miss my friends like that.
No, I had some.
It's so funny how just
Something else that we forgot to finish talking about. The few funny people growing up.
Yeah.
You wonder what happened.
Who is your best friend that was like hilarious?
Dude, I had a friend. His name was John Franzen.
Stamos. Okay.
John Franzen. Funniest person I ever met. Just because he was like a giant. He was like so clever in his wit, and he just was like a type of person that really just didn't care about outside influences. I guess I could say that he was just really like into his own thing.
It's like all original and
Yeah, he was just always into his own thing, and he would just like. I think he just thought everybody else sucked. I think that was like the secret to his comedy. Like he just really didn't like other people. So he just like would just little things. Like we went to church camp together. We went to church camp together because we got in trouble and his mom told us.
Because you went there because you got into trouble. So you're going to church camp.
What happened was me and like him and his older brother. Like his older brother was a big pothead, so then he was a pothead and he was my best friend. So they turned me into a pothead. And,
how old were you at the time?
I was 15, 16.
That's a good age to get into weed, though.
15, 16. It wasn't the first time I smoked weed, but that's at the age of 16. After that, from 16 until the day I moved to Korea, I was an everyday weed smoker. Mm-hmm. Every day, if possible. You know, obviously there was
Preach.
Church.
4, 2, 0.
And then so this guy he was like he was a pothead, so he had that kind of like lazy mentality, and then he was just so we got busted smoking weed by his mom. His mom busted me and his brother.
Where?
And him. We came home. Me, him, and his brother. We came home at the same time. Went to their house. And I was gonna stay the night there, and we just step out of the car like in slow motion, you know, just like barely moving, and we go through the front door, and the mom's just standing there, and all of us like can't open our eyes. And as soon as she opens the door, she's all angry faced, and we all just start laughing so hard, uncontrollable laughter, because we knew she knew, and all of us had the same thought, like let's try to pretend we're
like
sober.
telepathy.
We're all like, ah. We tried for like 10 seconds. And then, like, his mom was yelling at us. So his mom's yelling at him. And the brother, we had a bunch of weed on us. So the brother, like, took the weed and went to go hide it somewhere. And my friend John Went like his mom's yelling at him. He goes into the bathroom. Or, I'm sorry, goes into the kitchen. Opens the freezer. It gets out a popsicle and just starts eating the popsicle as his mom's yelling at him. And then he's eating the popsicle, and the popsicle breaks and falls on the floor, and the dog starts eating it. And we just start busting out laughing again. Like the whole time she's yelling at us, and we're just laughing at all these dumb things. And then best story I have about John, church camp is a good story. It's just because we did a lot of. We weren't supposed to be there. We weren't supposed to be there.
No one's supposed to be there.
We were not supposed to be there at all. We did
but
not
it was
belong.
because of that moment, basically.
Because that at that moment, his mom told me I got to go with him to church camp, or she's gonna tell my mom that I got busted smoking weed. So I had to go. I didn't want my mom to know. At that time, I didn't know. My mom didn't know that I was getting high, of course. So then went to church camp. But best story about John. One time we were hanging out, and somebody had given us at a party. Somebody had given us horse tranquilizers, like this big ass red pill, and we broke it into halves. And we were gonna take them, right? And we were going to, but we didn't. Okay, so we were at this party.
You knew it was?
Yeah, we knew what it was. Okay, so my friend, we went to this party. This guy gave us one pill of horse tranquilizer. So I was gonna take one half, and John was gonna take the other half. And at some point, because I think when he gave them to us, it was already in the party, so we were already drunk. Mm-hmm. So I took the two halves and I put them in my pocket, and I was like, "We'll take them later." We got really drunk, and we never took them. We never actually took them. So then the next morning, we wake up at his house again. We're at his house, and his mom is yelling at him, and he comes into the room where I'm sleeping, and he's like, "Dude," he said what happened was his mom woke up in the middle of the night, and he had opened up the kitchen cabinets and took out all the Tupperware and started peeing under the sink, like just peeing under the sink. And he comes to me and he's like, "Dude, I don't know what happened to me last night. I should have taken those horse tranquilizers." I should have. I was like, "Dude, you didn't take them." He was like, "I shouldn't have taken them." And I was like, "Dude, you didn't take them." And he's like, "Yes, I did." And I was like, "No, dude, I still have them right here in my pocket." And then he lost all hope for himself at that moment. Like, he's like, he thought he had an excuse for why he was such an idiot, but then he had no excuse. So then he just felt really bad. And I think he never recovered from that.
Really?
After that, he never drank or smoked weed anymore as much. He kind of stopped. Because I don't know, I guess that was like his ultimate low, that he peed inside his mom's Tupperwares under the sink, and he never recovered.
Yeah, sometimes you really need a huge low to go,
yeah.
Fuck, I'll never do
something's
that
wrong, yeah, something's wrong here. I've hit a lot of lows, but I don't stop. Maybe something's wrong with me.
Yeah, one of my biggest lows was when I was in high school, and it was my formal, basically my prom.
Right.
And we weren't legal enough yet to buy alcohol. So then what we had to do was we asked like our older friends, like my brother's friends, like Sean Cotton, and I'd be like, "Hey, can you give us like a 24, like a Mickey of rye?" And I had no idea what that meant. I just meant that was alcohol.
You knew there was alcohol in it.
Yeah, but the portion, like how much that was. Like I thought it'd be like really small, but he's like, "What, you want like a Mickey? You want like a 24?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay." And then at the prom, he gave it to us beforehand. It was like huge. It was like this big. It was like 2 liters. Like, what the fuck? And then all we had was like a 250 milliliter plastic bottle of like 7-Up. And just like, okay, what are we gonna do?
Are you gonna try to sneak it in there?
No, it was at the end of the prom, so we went to someone's party, and it was in the boonies, like a nice house, like a huge like forest backyard with like these huge like sloped hills all around. And it was like a huge bonfire. It was really nice. It was really cool. Great prom, doing our thing. And then during that time, I was with a friend of mine, Joanna, and then we were just chugging some of the 7-Up and then a little bit of the rye. And then up to the point where there was no more 7-Up.
Right.
So like, fuck, let's just drink it like this. And I drank the whole bottle.
Jesus.
And I got sick so bad. And
you're 17, 18 at this time?
I was like 18. And I got so fucked up. I don't even remember anything most of the time. Like my eyes like not opening, but I could hear my central peripheral like, perception was like heightened or something, or just still working. And I remember I went with one specific girl on a date over there, and then
the girl you went to the dance with.
Yeah, but then I totally was not with her the whole time. I was just like doing.
So she wasn't your girlfriend.
No. We're just like, she just invited, hey, let's just go together and stuff. And then I got so fucked up. And then somehow I fell down and I rolled all the way down to the bottom of the hill, right? And it was like, I was lost in the forest. And then my brother told me this, was like, it's like, hey, where's Will? And at that perfect moment, he could just hear, help me. Like that, and they're like, what the fuck is that, Will? And they looked out, and I'm like tangled like this, like I'm just like the most awkward position, can't even move. And then they're like, how the fuck did he get down there? So they kind of go down, they're like sliding a little bit, and they try to push me, and I'm just like a dead body, just like a floating dead corpse, and just push me up there. And then my brother, he's like angry, you know? And then he just like kind of sits me up, and he's just like, go like this to the back of my, back. He's like, he's gonna make this guy fucking throw up. I'm just like, oh, and it hurts more than I'm actually throwing. So I'm like, don't do this. But he's like, oh, harder? It's like, yeah. I can't even talk, and I'm just like spewing out, and then I start to cry. Right? I'm just like kind of start sobbing. He goes, why are you crying? Chi-Chi. That's like the name of our chihuahua that died. I'm like, Chi-Chi.
You started thinking about your dead
died.
dog?
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck, Chi-Chi, why'd you have to die? So then my brother's like, this guy's fucking or my friend Jamie, she was like, oh, I think you should go home. My brother's like, no, he's gonna have a good time. He's prom. He's gonna just start throwing, hitting him like that. But after the crying part, it's just like, yeah, you gotta go. You got to go.
You gotta.
So then they got me into a taxi. I had no idea how I got there, but I woke up the next day and had like no pants. But I was in my bed, sound asleep, and I was like, I have no fucking pants, but I'm at home. Like, what the fuck happened? And then everyone came back to me the next day, like, Will, like, what happened to you? And since then, like, I haven't really drank that much. I rarely drink. Yeah.
After that, since 18.
Yeah, so it was such a after that, weed was better, the best alternative after that.
Agreed.
Like I'd rather smoke weed than drink anytime, over any day and stuff like that. Sometimes, even in Korea, I have dreams that I have weed. Yeah. Right, and I'm like, oh fuck, I got some right now. Yeah. And I'm with my girlfriend. I'm like, oh shit. And then like someone's upstairs, like they can smell it. We gotta eat this. We're eating it and stuff. We're like, but wait a minute, lady's upstairs. She's deaf. She can't hear us smoke. It's like, wait, what? Hear us smoking. And they're just like, wake up, like, oh, that was almost true.
Dude, I always tell her. I wake up with my weed dreams and I tell her about it. I dreamt I had weed last night. So like funny. My imaginary girlfriend.
It's like Mary Jane's like, come to me.
It's a terrible dream to have here in Korea.
Yeah, it's so depressing.
It sucks. I was thinking about that yesterday. Like, how much better would this country be if we all had weed? Everybody would be a lot less stressed. Everybody would be a lot happier. People wouldn't drink as much. Definitely before I came to Korea, I would smoke a lot of more weed and drink hardly at all. Yeah. Hardly at all, because you don't need to. Because I would just stay home. I would stay home and get high and not need to go out.
And it'd be easier to get a taxi. You just be like, showing like a bag of weed, and they just stop right away. Yeah. They get all the black guys first. They're like, hey, dude, what's up? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely an alternative. I think that would, I don't know, I need to get out of this country.
What do you think is more possible first, North and South to reunite, or legalization of marijuana in South Korea?
North and South to reunite. Yeah. They think it's like heroin. Mm-hmm. They think it's like heroin, man. They have no idea how non-issue it is. Even in America, with all the experience that they have, they still treat it as a drug when it damn well shouldn't be. In Canada, you guys are a little bit more...
that's so true.
A little more understanding.
If it's not completely legalized in Canada or in the States, like, how will they ever do that in Korea?
Yeah, exactly. What is the laws in Canada? What is it specifically?
Nothing. You just kind of do it.
Just kind of nobody just turns a blind eye?
No, like... I remember we were smoking in the car with like 5 guys in the car in front of my apartment at college, and these 2 policemen in bikes came over. What do you guys do? And the driver, he got in trouble before, so he's just like completely honest. Sorry, sir, we're just smoking weed. Like, how much you got? Like, this amount. Have you smoked before? Yes. Have you done it? Yes. Okay, all right. We shouldn't be doing this. And one guy, Ben Parente, he's like from Brazil. He's like a little bit fucked up, but he's just like, oh shit, don't worry about these guys. They're no problem at all. He's like, he thought he was like a city of God. He's like, this is like easy. He's like, these cops are shit to us. And we're just like, shut the fuck up, Ben.
Oh man.
And then just like, yeah, you better take care of this guy. You're gonna get some trouble. He's like, hey, don't worry, I'm just smoking some weed. Just out together with my friends. Just go. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about no free time together. Just don't nobody. Something like this. And we lived together. I lived with him and I lived with the Chinese dude. And we were all living together. Ben, he was kind of a weird character, man. Like, he really thought like like when I saw City of God, I'm like, okay, that's Ben. Now
That's
I
right.
understand
Now
this
you
guy.
understand Ben.
It's like when I watched Old Boy, okay, now I understand Adjushes. But like, when I see like City of God, okay, Ben. And then when he used to be like a weed fanatic and stuff, we had one closet space. We only used it for my friend's cat litter box, so it smelled like shit and stuff.
Right.
But this guy was so into weed, he tried to make all these different inventions before he got like his what are those pipes that you get from the Middle East restaurants?
The hookah bong?
Yeah, hookah bong. Before he got that, he made like a box. He basically got a box and he put like tape around it so you can cover it all up. And then he cut a little hole over here, but he put like some type of film or like just like saran wrap and just taped it up. And he cut a hole underneath so he could just stick his head in. And he blows weed in there and he just go like this. And he do it inside the room where it's just like cat shit. And I'm like, this guy's fucked, man. Why do you have to do that when you could just easily smoke anywhere? Like it's not a problem at all. Like,
Why was he doing it in the cat closet?
I have no idea.
This weird guy.
And I'm like, don't you think it smells like shit in there when you do that? He's like, no, it's fine with me, man. It's fine with me. He was a weird character because
he was your weed engineer.
No, he was just fucked. Like I would never trust him. Right?
Oh yeah,
yeah, because he was sketchy and like he's one of those guys. He used to. I have to say he was a constant. What's the pathological liar?
Pathological liar.
Like he would just say all these kind of crazy stuff. Like I was walking one day with my girlfriend in Brazil. And then I don't know, sometime a vampire came out, so I took out my butterfly knife and I stabbed it at her like this. I'm like, I have no idea what you just said, man. And he's like, oh, one day I was walking out with my girlfriend in Brazil. A bag came out of nowhere, so I took out my butterfly knife and I stabbed it in the heart like this. I'm like, okay, man.
So he could enunciate.
Yeah, but instead of saying vampire, he said vampire. So we used to say vampire, Ben.
Vampire.
Ben, vampire.
Vampire bat.
Yeah. So funny.
Oh man, I didn't have any interesting roommates. I just had one friend from high school who was my roommate for 4 years, and he was really, really normal. But now he's really, really rich. He was the kind of guy that would like.
That was a success story to me.
He wouldn't go out. All he cared about was saving money. So he would just not go out, and he just saved all of his money. And he was such a Jew. We'd be like, Jeff, throw down $5 for a pizza. I don't have any money, man. Like, bullshit. I know you have a lot of money. I live with you. I know that you have money.
You won't even spend money for
and he won't throw $5 down on a pizza. But now he's like a fucking millionaire, and he owns property all over Chicago, and he's fucking got a beautiful house and beautiful TV and beautiful truck, Range Rover and shit.
You know you made it when you have a beautiful truck. It's not even awesome. It's just beautiful.
Beautiful. He has an amazing truck. An amazing penis, maybe.
I don't know what we learned from this. But
I don't know either.
Don't share your money with other people.
Yeah, I think about that now because he would be like up in his room reading Money Magazine, and I would be making fun of him. Me and my friends would be downstairs getting high and making fun of him. Like, this fucking loser. We banged 3 chicks this week, and he's read Money Magazine all night. Now who's laughing?
Yeah, that's like the slow burn. He's like, I'm gonna show you guys.
Yeah,
I'm saving $5 a day times 2 years. You guys are fucked, man.
I think that he, I don't know. I don't envy him at all, and I don't think that he envies me either. I think we're both well aware that we are 2 different kinds of people, and we lived with each other for 4 years, so we got along that well enough.
It's so funny how that happens, right? Like, there's people that are just complete opposites, and you just kind of blend in. And just that, even though those opposites, you guys can live like well together, like a maintained society.
I lived better with him than I could have lived with anybody else. I think because we were so opposite, we weren't in each other's hair, you know. Like, and we had a big enough house that I lived downstairs and he lived upstairs. Like, I don't know what college houses are like in Canada, but where I went to school, it was like we had a 1, 2, 3 bedroom house, a 3-bedroom house, and no, wait, more than that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. A 4-bedroom house with a full attic, a full basement, a living room, a huge kitchen, and a big hallway that we could even fit like a sofa in, and a big backyard where we had a tree and a garage and a bench like a park picnic table, and like all this shit. And I was a fucking 20-year-old kid in college, and I had a bigger house than my parents, and that was great. And we had 2 dogs, and we just like had parties all the time. He did like to party, but he wouldn't go out. Like, we would have house parties, and he would stay and chill, because you can have a house party and drink all night for $5 off the keg, but go to the bar, you're gonna spend a bunch of money. And he's fucking millionaire now, and I hope he buys me a house one day.
I hope. Yeah, he's probably thinking about you right now.
We still keep in touch. I talk to him a lot. He's well off that he should come fucking visit me, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
Come visit me, Jeff.
Respect.
But no, he's a good guy. He used to date my sister. You owe me something.
You owe me something.
I know what you guys did.
I offered you
I
my
know what you
sister.
did.
You owe me a house.
I know what you did with my sister.
You got your sister into this now.
My sister, she's the dumb one. She should have stayed with him.
Oh my
She should have
God.
treated him better.
Okay. Anyways, let's wrap it up soon. But I wanna.
Are we touching on any important topics?
Oh, dude, we just talked about a bunch of crazy shit. I wanna play this one game. I think no fucking name. I did this one quiz
Uh-huh.
with Sean, and it's about knowing you're Asian. It's
Know
a
you're
pop
Asian.
quiz, so it gives you
Okay.
pictures of different types of Asians.
I just say where they're from?
Yeah, and you have to choose. It's a quiz, and then we'll see how well you can tell the difference between. From this one, it's kind of easy. It's Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans.
All right, I think I could do well.
Okay. I think we can use, faces. Because really surprised because Sean mentioned that when he... Okay, we'll start here anyways. So for anyone who wants to try this out, you can just go to alllooksame.com. And then on the top, there's this little kind of Nintendo Wii character, and it has a banner, and there's a little button that says take exam or something. You go there, you just register, just put your name, nothing like that, nothing serious, and then you can take the test and let us know what your scores are. So Albert, you're going to do first, this first guy that you see here, is he Chinese, Japanese, or Korean? Just go by first.
Japanese.
Japanese. Okay, he's a J.
Does it tell you right away?
No, at the
Korean.
end. Korean? Ooh. It's because of this blue muffler.
It has to do with the Elmo fur.
Looks like she's getting choked out by the Cookie Monster.
I hate that
Oh.
necker thing she's wearing right now. I don't like it when women wear furry animals as fake furry animals as clothing.
Korean?
Korean.
Okay.
All day. Chinese. Actually, he's probably Korean. Could I change my mind?
No, just
Fuck.
first thing. Just like you gotta go with your
My gut
instinct.
My gut instinct. Korean.
Korean. Really? I want to do this with an actual Korean too.
Jap.
Jap.
There's no Chinese, are there? They can't afford to take pictures.
What do you mean? They take cameras. They make cameras.
Chinese.
Chinese. Interesting.
I might get them all wrong.
This is kind of easy for you, right? Cause
I've been here for a while. She's looking Korean to me.
interesting.
Stop saying that.
Oh, they're like. They're nodding their head down.
You guys don't know.
What about this guy?
He is Korean.
He's Korean.
They're all Korean. Korean. I think she's my co-teacher.
Number 10.
Chinese.
Chinese.
Shh.
We're almost done here.
No, don't touch me. Japanese. Yellow hair, Japanese.
Did your dog pee you in your head when you were sleeping, bro?
How many are there?
Maybe the last one. Maybe there's like 14 in general.
Korean.
Korean. Why? Why do you think she's Korean?
I don't know, because she looks angry like Ajima.
She's got that angry face.
Ooh, oh, this is a hard one. I'm going to go with Japanese.
Doesn't he look like an ajushi? Like
He does look, but he looks a little too Mexican to be Ajashi. Chinese.
Okay. This guy here.
Japanese.
Is it because of the hair?
I don't know what it is. I'm looking at their eyes, pretty much. I'm just going straight for the eyes.
Just looking straight to the soul, right?
Straight into their soul.
But you can't even see her eyes. What are you talking about? It's a tough one.
Super Chinese.
Super Chinese.
Super Chinese.
Whoa, really?
Super Korean.
Super Korean.
Looks like Justin. Chinese.
Chinese. Interesting.
I think I don't know the difference between Chinese and Japanese at this point.
Out of
Wow.
18, you got 5.
Holy shit, I was wrong a lot.
Hopeless. Your score is hopeless. Might as well toss
a
the coin.
I got them all
First
wrong.
one was wrong.
He was Chinese.
She was Japanese.
She was Japanese.
He was Japanese. Chinese. You got this. Okay, you got that one girl, right? Yeah.
Chinese girl.
You said she was Korean, but she's Chinese here. He was Chinese, actually. When I saw him, I thought he was like Japanese, maybe. Korean, for sure. 'Cause your co-teacher, you know her.
Totally Korean. Who else did I get right? Korean Ajima.
Yeah. Yeah, you got her. Okay, yeah, he is Japanese. This guy's actually Korean.
Shit. What did I say?
Immediately when you saw him, like, he's so Chinese. He must be so insulted if he saw that.
He would hate me.
Imagine if you took this. Imagine every time a white person took a test like this, each of these people get an email. Someone saying he looked Chinese, and he's like, "What the fuck is bullshit?" You know.
How well did you do?
Me, the one I took before was like Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Vietnamese, and Filipino.
Oh wow!
And I was like, that was kind of challenging, but it was. I think I did okay.
And Sean, how did he do?
Oh, he did terrible too. You guys have the same score pretty much.
You think you knew more than me?
Yeah, of course.
Let's try. Will it be the same faces again?
Yeah, it's gonna be the same faces.
But she doesn't remember. Let's try again.
Do you want to try again?
I want to see.
Okay.
Are we done? Wait, are we done broadcasting?
Okay, well, yeah. Let's wrap it up first, cause I don't think anyone can see this.
Oh, we gotta leave. Look what time it is. I gotta catch a train in 10 minutes.
I'll give you the link then, and you can give me.
Yeah, we could play at home.
Okay. Anyways, that's all the time that we got, guys. But thanks for listening. You want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, we do Itaewon open mic on Thursday nights at Woodstock. We have Tony's Nights on Wednesdays in Itaewon. And we have Tom Rhodes coming all the way from LA. November 2nd and 3rd at RMT. We're selling tickets. 30,000 won. You can pick them up at Rocky Mountain Tavern, or you could find anybody from Stand Up Soul, me, Jeff, Adam, or Rudy. And we will sell you a ticket, I promise. Other than that, no more things. Thank you, Wilfred.
Yes, thank you again, Albert. Always a pleasure for you coming out here.
It's a pleasure
It was
to be
really
here.
fun. We talked about a lot of funny shit. Bring nice trip down memory lane. So anyways, that's enough from Artist Journey. Remember to like our page at Artist Journeys. Just type that shit in, and then you can find it. Remember to like it, and you can get some daily posts that I always put in there, or some other people do. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel on Ustream. And next time, we'll be interviewing some other people. I'll keep you guys updated, and then we will meet again. So that's enough for today. Have a good night. Bye-bye. 안녕.